Hey everybody, welcome back. David here from Coffee Talk with another biblical discussion, as it were, this time talking about animals. And this is one that hits home for a lot of people who have animal companions that care for animals or live with animals. Do they have a soul? Does Daniel there have a soul? Sleeping in the chair behind me. Poor little guy's knocked out. A lot of people have animals. A lot of people have seen a wide range of emotions from these animals. Cats, dogs, birds. If you work around livestock, horses, goats, sheep, you can see them being emotional. You can see them expressing joy, anger, fear, jealousy, all sorts of emotions, the whole gambit, as it were. And so it poses the question, do these creatures have a soul? And what does that mean? So do they have a soul? Well, let's take a look. Now, first of all, there are a couple of clues in the Bible. There are a couple of clues. You can see clues in the Noahide laws in Genesis 9:4. It talks about what's referred to again as the Noahide laws. One of them is not to tear the flesh from an animal and eat it. Basically, don't be abusive towards an animal if you need to use it for food. Don't treat it like it's a carrot and just tear it out of the ground and chomp on it. Have some empathy for the animal. Deuteronomy 5:14, where it talks about the Sabbath, when you're supposed to acknowledge a day of rest, which, by the way, is dusk to dusk, sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, not Sunday morning. Just saying, I know somebody's going to get upset, but it is what it is. Biblically speaking, that's when the Sabbath would be. But Deuteronomy 5:14 instructs you also to make sure that any animals that are in your charge also acknowledge this day. If you have beasts of burden, let them rest on that day. Give them a break. Now we'll move on. We're going to go back, actually. We're going to go back to Genesis, go back to the beginning. And I'm going to read, this is actually from the New Geneva Study Bible, and we'll jump down to Genesis 1:29. And God said, "See, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed, to you it shall be for food. Also to every beast of the earth, to every bird in the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life, I have given every green herb for food." And it was so. Not very telling. Not very telling on the surface. But that's the problem. On the surface, this is not an accurate translation. And this is basically what you're going to see in most Bibles. A big clue there already is all animals in which there is life. Well, if there's no death yet, then that would be, all animals. And that's something that would go over most people's heads. They wouldn't stop there and say, hey, wait a minute, does that make sense? It doesn't make sense because that's not what it says. That's not what it says when you go back to the earliest translations. And that's a big problem with almost all Bibles, is that Hebrew, Aramaic, and even Greek get lost in translation. Changes are made or things are misunderstood. Now we're going to jump again here to an NIV Bible, and we're going to read the same thing just to make the point. Starting again from Genesis 1:29. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds of the air, and all the creatures that move on the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. That's a little better. That's a little better, saying it has the breath of life in it. And whenever you talk about breath in the Bible, there is a lot of meaning there. But it's still not an accurate translation. There's still something lost in translation, unfortunately. And again, you've got to go to the earliest possible translation. Next, we'll go to the Complete Jewish Bible. We'll go to the Complete Jewish Bible, which has, for the most part, the most accurate translations of the earliest available manuscripts. And we'll go to the same spot, Genesis 1:29. And so it says, "Then God said, 'Here, throughout the whole earth, I am giving you as food every seed-bearing plant and every tree with seed-bearing fruit, and to every wild animal, bird in the air, and creature crawling on the earth, in which there is a living soul. I am giving as food every kind of green plant.' And that is how it was." That's drastically different than the other translations, in which there is a living soul. So in the original language, in the earliest possible examples that still exist, it says living soul, but in all modern translations, almost all modern translations, the word soul has been struck out. And you have to wonder why that was done. I know it's not even in the King James. It's not, I don't have one sitting here, but I know it doesn't say soul in the King James either. And you got to wonder why that was done. Why that was done. But is there a soul in animals? I think there is. I think there is. What do you think? What do you think? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section down below. I think that the earliest translation, implying literally that there is a living soul in animals, is very telling. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of that. I sure hope you did. Let me know if you'd like to see more discussions like this. Share the video if you can. Subscribe if you're new, all of that good stuff. And if that is it, then what more can I say but stay tuned, folks, because there is more to come.